hands and feet. Takes about 30 minutes. Includes a relaxing foot soak as well. Carries massage, 3 years and going strong. 928 Broadwater, suite number 204.
Livin Large Larry live from the Red Line Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin Large Larry live.
A couple warm days ahead. 92 today, 90 for Wednesday. So 90 on the low 90s for Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Thursday through Sunday, 60 to 70. And some showers in our forecast, which I'm a little below normal for this time of year in and around Billings, Montana. LivinLargeLarry.com for the show, the podcast, YouTube, the TuneIn smartphone app for your iPhones and Androids. As we broadcast from the Red Line Computer Studios in West Billings. What is going on around town? What's happening is courtesy of Bighorn Inspection, Petrochemical, and Refinery Inspection. Bighorn Inspection, BighornInspection.com. Montana Fair, big events going on through this coming Saturday, August 20th. And looking ahead to Wednesday, Turley Dental Group sponsors Kids Day at Montana Fair from noon to 5 on Wednesday. All kids 12 and under are free at the gate, courtesy of Turley Dental Group. Also around town, Billings Kiwanis bringing back movies in the park. They took July off. They're back August 26th. Finding Nemo at Rose Park at dusk. September 9th, Ant-Man at Castle Rock Park. September 16th, Wizard of Oz at Pioneer Park. Those are all Friday nights for Billings Kiwanis movies in the park. And usually if it storms on the Fridays, then they're moved to at the same park on the next day on Saturday. So also Slide the City in September 10th at Skyway Boulevard and Alkali Creek Road. Slide the City back for the third summer in a row. And you can get tickets. Are on sale now with slidethecity.com and then /Billings for tickets. And the events donating money to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Yellowstone County. Slide the City on September 10th here in Billings. What is going on around town? What's happening is courtesy of Bighorn Inspection, Petrochemical, and Refinery Inspection. Bighorn Inspection, BighornInspection.com. Couponing is back, and how would you like to look at a coupon magazine that's larger than the palm of your hands? Real sized Hometown Values coupon magazine. There's one built and issue out for your area in and around Billings and Laurel. Hometown Values, shop the original. Inside, practical couponing, Hometown Values, and log on to myhometownvalues.com. Check out the new Heights issue of Hometown Values.
Livin Large Larry live from the Red Line Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin Large Larry live.
A revisit with Cindy Graff from N2 Cryotherapy from about a month and a half ago, and talking about how N2 Cryotherapy here in Billings can help you out. LivinLargeLarry.com. Red Line Computer Studios next to the Wave Car Wash off King and 29th. Our replay of segments on LivinLargeLarry.com on the show from Keystone Mortgage Company here in Billings. Purchase, refinance, investment properties, and a brand new place to call home for work. Keystone Mortgage downtown now across from the pub station, 2442 First Avenue North. You can find them on Facebook. Type in the keyword Keystone. Keystone Mortgage Company. You aren't just a number, you're our number one priority. I think you'll love the changes at Keystone Mortgage. LivinLargeLarry.com live on YouTube. No disrespect to the industry, but there seems to be coupons for everything. And if you want the real coupon magazine, Hometown Values coupon magazine, a coupon book you can read, and practical couponing. Hometown Values, check them out. Different Hometown Values magazines for each part of the city. Hometown Values, Billings and Laurel. Log on to myhometownvalues.com. Livin Large Larry live at livinlargelarry.com from the Redline Computer Studios in West Billings. Bobby Gray with us. I said it was story time with Bobby Gray from All Kinds of Blinds about 10 minutes ago. Story time. It's just like you're the storyteller.
Story time.
So
Well, they're not stories. They're like...
Well, true life stories.
Yes.
When you tell a story, it's true life stories.
Yes.
So it's a couple times a month. It's story time with Bobby Gray. So why not? So what's selling good this spring and summer for All Kinds of Blinds? First off,
Well,
what's the hot item?
oh, it's all selling pretty good. Right now, I think that something people should be thinking about is the possibility of putting window film or window tint, people call it, on their windows for the UV that's fading out their furniture, their new flooring. You know, they've got a brand new house with beautiful wood flooring, and
You don't want it to fade, yeah. Good,
and
good
they don't want it
idea.
to fade out. It also affects temperature in the room. It's energy efficient. And if anybody fishes out there and you put polarized glasses on
Right.
and you're out there fly fishing and you can see more of the terrain under the water, you can see maybe a fish and you can see the rocks. The same thing happens if you do this to your windows in your house. You're basically polarizing it. Then when you look out, even though it's tinted, you can see better because the glare that's reflecting back, like you might see on my glasses
Sure.
right now,
Mhm.
you could get rid of about 80% of it. It also improves the look on your TV, your computer screen, just reading a book, your comfort level increases. And then Cancer Society has come out with a lot of studies about the skin cancer
Sure.
problems with people sitting in their sunrooms or even in their cars. So that's something that I think people should be thinking about more. And the cost really is similar to buying blinds. It's not dirt cheap, but it's not expensive.
Right.
You can also put a higher level, which is a security film. So like if you have a hailstorm come through or a tornado where the glass would break and blow into the room, the water from the storm is going to destroy your things, your sheetrock, maybe your house, where you could have put film on there that would hold the glass together so it's cracked but doesn't come into the room, so then the water doesn't penetrate the room and then you don't get the damage that you would have. Especially if it's tornado, you don't have flying shards of glass coming into your room.
Yeah, that's not good, yeah.
So that's my thoughts at the moment. I mean, there's...
And you recommend 3M.
Yeah, 3M's the only company in the country that from the factory gives a 15-year warranty for bubbling, cracking, flaking of the material, where nobody else is doing that. Also, when you put film on larger pieces of glass, you got to remember it's a double pane or triple pane, and what happens is that it reflects so much heat back out of the room that it will expand the airspace in between the glass and can cause the window to break just from the heat expansion. So they'll also warranty that if your glass breaks, they'll replace your window for free.
Does All Kinds of Blinds get a chance to, with all the construction going on in and around Billings, not just Billings proper, but surrounding communities, does All Kinds of Blinds get a chance to bid on like construction projects and subdivision work?
I do, yes.
For blinds and window film?
Yeah, there's we've got right now the project at Shiloh and King, the big apartment complexes.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge one.
Doing those blinds. There's when you jump into bidding buildings and hotels, what happens? You've got it's a complicated process that sometimes doesn't make sense. Like right now, there's a job, and it's government HUD housing, and the architect put in there that they wanted bid a product that was nobody's made since the late 80s.
What was that?
It's a 2-inch vertical blind. It's 2-inch slats, which means you have twice as many versus a 3.5.
Sure.
You have twice as many parts. They break, and then they also spec to put chains on the bottom like they did in the old days on vertical blinds, which is they rust out and kids and dogs get tangled in them.
Why would they want something from the 80s when it's 2016?
I think it comes into government projects being so behind the times.
Can you get that product through all kinds
No.
of blinds?
You can't get it anywhere. It doesn't exist. So then you've got to go through a process to convince an architect
Sure.
who's been told by a government agency somewhere through forms, is you can't talk to them.
Red tape.
So it can be, and then you've got people who bid nationally. So you might have a company in Miami bidding an apartment complex in the Heights, if it's a big project, and they'll bid nationally, and then they send their whole crew in to do it.
Kind of like some of the roofing companies in town.
Yeah, and then what? They fly their people in, they get the work. It's not local.
Right.
Then they leave, and then they call somebody like me or one of my competitors to go do a repair and pay us. You know, they don't want to pay us because they're not going to fly somebody back in from Miami to fix it.
Sure.
So it gets. But if you're buying like the project at Shiloh and King, this is from a local contractor, a good company,
Mhm.
Stockland Construction. They're high-end, reputable.
Right.
Got their act together more than any group I've ever worked with, so that's what I've experienced working with the apartment complexes. Then you also have issues with you're floating out there maybe $40,000-$50,000, and you might not get paid right away, but you have to pay for your
Sure.
goods.
Yeah.
And then if the government's involved at all in the loans, which they're doing now, the president has put this thing in where if you do part of your building is HUD housing, then you get a better percentage rate on your loan than anybody else. I'm talking like 2%.
Right.
Maybe. But then they hold back part of your money till HUD comes and inspects the building maybe another month later. So you wait for your money, and then you hold back, say 10% for another month, and
Oh,
you're
man.
floating big money. So it's a little bit sketchy to do that. But if you're working with local companies like this one I mentioned, they help you out and make it happen so that they'll buy local.
Yeah, there's a reason that the slogan "Buy Local" is out there, and I firmly believe in that. All kinds of blinds, mt.com. All right, so story time on real life story time on the sea. If you can give us a pinpoint a year for us, or if you can remember, Bobby Gray, the year or so.
Oh my goodness, the year.
How about
We're I'll just take a guess.
how about
and
an
say
era?
It's 2000, maybe 2004.
Okay, we'll go with that.
2003, something
Okay.
like that.
All right.
Say we're crossing the Pacific Ocean, which is very large. I mean, like you cross from the Panama Canal to Galapagos is say 5 days at sea. You cross from there to the very next island is longer than crossing the whole Atlantic. Okay, so the whole Atlantic, you hear about Columbus and the big Atlantic.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Going from Galapagos to the Marquesas is the same, like similar distance. So you're talking 3 weeks at sea just to get from one island to the next.
It's like a geography lesson.
And then you go from that group to the next group. Tuamotus might take you 10 days at sea. And then you go from there to Polynesia, it might be another 10 days at sea or whatever it is. So it's long distances, and you're not even halfway at this point. And you've got to do this during before cyclone season starts, just like hurricane season in the Atlantic. And
Right.
You've got cyclones in the Pacific. And so you're trying to get across. And we had left Bora Bora, went to an island group, an atoll called, that we talked about before,
Right, yep.
Suvarov.
Mhm.
Well, when we left Suvarov, we're going to start heading a little bit south, and we went because you got to start working your way out of the cyclone belt, and we were planning to go to New Zealand to wait it out, but we pulled into it's a kingdom. It's an island called Niue. It's Niue, I believe, and there's a king, and the island is rising cliffs all the way around. So say 150-foot sheer cliffs. And there's a couple spots on the backside of the island, but there's nowhere to anchor, where you could sneak in through some caves to get ashore. That's how the original settlers, natives, would have gotten in there with some canoes. But there's this big bay that's fairly comfortable. it's a very deep bay, and we went in there at night and grabbed a mooring. A mooring ball is there's a big float with a pad eye on it to hook into, an eye bolt like. And it has a chain down to the bottom to concrete because the anchoring was so deep.
That's how you anchored yourself then?
Yeah, you tie off to that, because we're talking the water's about 100 feet deep.
Right, yeah.
And there's beautiful reef down there, and they also don't want a bunch of anchors destroying their reef. But we come in there, then I go to shore. To get to shore, I had one of my sons bring me in on the dinghy, the inflatable, like a Zodiac, and they have a pier that they built, but it's still, the top of the pier is maybe 50 feet up from the water level, and there's some steps, and they're all slimy, and it's hard to get up, and you're in surf when you're doing it. So my son rides the wave in on our boat, or the small boat, and then turns around real quick, and you jump ashore.
Oh, how fun is that?
And then you've got to go in and do your immigration and customs paperwork. During that interim, a storm came, pretty serious storm that I didn't know was coming. And so I get back to the wharf, and there's waves breaking over the top, hitting this 50-foot wharf and splashing over. And I get on my handheld radio and called for my son to come pick me up. Okay, now he's going to have to come in big waves.
Yeah, sure.
And he did amazing. It's very dangerous. I put him at high risk.
Right, yeah.
Got to get back to the boat. Well, he picks me up. He pulled up, and there was also another boat. His wife was there doing immigration, and they had come in also that night. And they had a little dinghy that rode in. He couldn't come get her. So when Michael pulled up, then I literally threw her into our inflatable, and I jumped in after her, and we took off. We get back out to the boat, and waves are, of course, breaking over the bow of the boat at anchor. And Lana's immediately, we need to get the boat going. We can't stay here. And I go down and I start the engine below deck, and I come up, and we're going to remove the mooring lines, they call them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just start to motor forward to try and release the load. Just as I'm starting to, it sounded like a gunshot, like an explosion. And I had two very large, we're talking like maybe 1 inch diameter lines, very strong, going off the bow of the boat, and they exploded from the load.
Wow.
And so now, okay, remember there's a cliff behind us.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. And it's a couple 100 feet. And we're in big surf coming in. The waves are breaking over the bow. And the mooring line just broke. So I give it full throttle to pull away, and the engine quit. And so now we have no engine. And the boats start getting thrashed and starting to go back towards the cliff. So
every story is a challenge.
So yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's an adventure. So then I went up and I start trying to put the mainsail up, because if you do the jib, the front sail, you can't really point into the wind as well. So the first thing I'm doing is just throwing the main up. Well, the main gets about part way up, and I'm getting thrashed, and it's raining.
Mm-hmm.
The wind, there's heavy wind, rain, and surf, and I slipped, and the line working up, pulling the main up with these lazy jacks, they call them, tangled up about halfway up. So now the main is stuck and is useless because it's thrashing in the wind and stuck part way up. I have no engine. And then we run back and we put the jib out, which is the one that you can't really point into the wind very well, and we need to point into the wind to sail out of the bay. And I put the jib out, and we creeped sideways parallel to the cliffs, and just creeped, and we just went back and forth for the whole rest of the day in the storm trying to get out of the bay.
Would it be safer to stay in the bay?
Well, you can't anchor.
So it's safer.
You're going to hit the cliff. It's blowing you into the shore.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay.
That's the problem here, is if you don't get out really fast, you're going to be on the rocks and you're going to die. Your boat's going to explode. There's nowhere to swim to the beach because it's a sheer cliff.
What is the time frame of doing all this stuff and all the challenges you had to get away from there?
It took us all day in
Wow.
terror trying to get out. And then by the time we get out, it's the end of the day and it's getting dark. The storm ends and it goes dead calm. And now it's the
Just
middle of the
like
night.
that.
I have no engine and no wind. So there's no sailing. There's no nothing.
She's kind of sitting there.
We're sitting there floating, and now the current starts taking us back to the island.
Of course.
So now we're slowly going back to the island. And then come sunrise, we were back in the bay, getting blown in. But we had a little bit of wind by then. We had the jib up, and we sailed into the bay and went back to that mooring and tied up. Now with no engine. And what had happened is when we were in Suvorov, we were there for a long time, and you need fresh water. So when it rained, you would take off, you would open up the deck fill and put a bunch of towels, and you would collect rainwater.
Rainwater, yeah.
Well, my fuel fill is right there too. And we had been, because we were gone out at sea so long, we were putting fuel in from some jugs.
Mm-hmm.
And I had not put the fuel fill in solid. It was a little bit cross-threaded. So water was going into my fuel.
Of course it was, yeah, diluted
so
it.
my fuel was tainted. And so when you mix water and diesel, it looks like Pepto-Bismol.
So the engine didn't blow.
The engine wouldn't run on water.
Of course not.
And when you mix
Wow.
the two, they get thick like Pepto-Bismol, and that's not going to run in your engine.
So had that been not cross-threaded, this story would be totally different.
Right.
Wow.
Right, but it's an easy thing to do, and it was. I mean, you're doing this every day. You're eventually going to make a mistake, and so I made a mistake.
There's challenges in
Anyways,
whatever you do.
That's a short little story.
I love it, though.
Add more to it. There's snakes there that you deal with too, all over the water. Sea snakes.
Well, as you were talking, I was thinking, okay, when you're down trying to get the engine going, when you're being thrashed up against the rocks and potentially going to die, your words, do you ever say to yourself as you're working, damn, what the hell am I doing? Tomorrow we're done. No, never? It's just, it just becomes an adventure after an adventure.
It's your lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle, and if you talk to other people
How exciting,
who
though.
have done that, it's a lifestyle. Once you get away, I'm not talking like going from Florida to Bahamas or, from San Diego to Sea Cortez.
Sure, that's
Those
totally
are very
different.
close.
Yeah.
You can get on your VHF radio and go, U.S. Coast Guard, I need help, and they're going to be all over you. You have help.
Uh-huh.
But when you head out across where you're months at sea, going across, there's no help other than a local island fisherman that doesn't speak your language, who doesn't even know what Mayday means. So it's a different world. You're completely on your own, but it's a freedom that, to digress a little bit, that our country has lost. Because we're so afraid we might not have a seatbelt on. I'm not saying you shouldn't wear one.
Right.
But we're
I
so
understand.
afraid that, oh my, there's no helmet. Oh, there's all this oh my stuff that you've got to live.
Yeah, you miss out on life.
You miss out on life. I mean, you in Montana, you get on the horse or the four-wheeler and go out in the snow and deal with your cattle at night because the calves are coming and there's a late winter storm. They're doing the same thing. They're living free.
Mm-hmm.
And your actions, you pay for your mistakes. We almost paid dearly for my mistake.
You've probably almost bitten it several times in your adventures.
Yeah, there's a lot. My sons would say, "Oh, here's my dad. He's crazy." I've heard that quite a few times.
Well, after the stories I've heard from you and Lana's book and stuff, I can see where that could come into play. That Bobby Gray's crazy. He means well, but he's crazy.
Well, we just kind of dive in and deal with it.
That's and then when you're done with all that and you're retired, you're on the couch, you can truly sit back and say that you have done it all right.
Yes,
you've done your life all right.
We have.
Yeah.
We have.
How do you get Lana's book again?
You can go to Amazon, I think Barnes and Noble, and order it. Caught by the Lure of the Sea.
Okay.
By Lana Gray, Gray.
Cool. Bobby Gray from All Kinds of Blinds, allkindsofblindsmt.com. I take a deep breath. It's storytelling time with Bobby Gray. Cool. Thanks, sir.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Well, don't forget
Thanks.
next time another story. every week, every couple of weeks, you got to think of something new to talk about. All kinds of blindsmt.com.
Livin' Large Larry live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin' Large Larry live.
Let's check on news around our area, livinlargelarry.com, the Redline Computer Studios, West Billings, and utilizing sources from ktvq.com, color8.com, and at times the Billings Gazette and Last Best News. Also, state news writer Brian Bennett, the Northern News Network. The future of Colstrip, the second largest coal-fired power plant west of the Mississippi, has been increasingly uncertain, and if some lawmakers have their way, shutting down 2 of the 4 units won't be cheap or easy for the plant's owners. A package of bills has been crafted by the Energy and Telecommunications Interim Committee that would hit Puget Sound Energy and Talent Energy with millions of dollars in fees and grants to communities that lose natural resource jobs, among other requirements. A decision will be made next month whether to forward the proposals for consideration in the 2017 Montana legislative session. Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks officials are assuming the total death toll of whitefish and suckers in the Yellowstone River near Livingston and as far as upstream as Cinnabar near Corwin Springs is over 10,000 now. Samples from the fish have been taken to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Fish Disease and Health Lab in Helena. The results shouldn't be expected until after Thursday. Montana Supercross was flying high on Tuesday nights at Montana Fair, Billings, at Metro Park. Nearly 6,000 people packed the Northern Hotel grandstands on Tuesday, the annual Kids Day, getting underway at noon. Kids 12 and under are free till 5 today. Today is the annual Kids Day. The maple fire in Yellowstone National Park has grown to 5,000 acres, and state officials have deemed the air quality in West Yellowstone unhealthy for some people. The designation means people with heart or lung problems may experience aggravation if exposed to the air for too long. And the Billings Police Department on Tuesday released 3 photos taken from a surveillance video of the armed robbery at a casino in the Heights. 2 armed men entered the Hilltop Station Casino about 11:30 p.m. on August 9th. One of the robbers demanded money from an employee, while the other robber confronted patrons, striking one patron over the head with a handgun. The suspect 1, is described as a white male, 5'7" to 5'9", and mid-20s, early 30s, stocky, muscular build. Suspect 2 is described as white male, 5'10" to 6 feet tall, with a thin build. There's some pretty clear images. If you go to ktvq.com and then search out Hilltop Casino armed robbery, you'll get some pretty good images that have been captured. If anyone has information regarding the identity of these suspects, you're asked to contact the Billings PD at 657-8473. That's the Detective Division. Or, of course, Crime Stoppers as well at 245-6660. The Salvation Army distributes more than 600 backpacks as part of its 2016 back-to-school program, Senex Zip Trip. They presented a check of $20,000. That gift allowed the Salvation Army to more than double its backpack giveaways in 2015. So way to step up, Senex. Thanks to the many generous people who donated to the back-to-school program, the Salvation Army will be able to work with school districts to hand-deliver another 600 backpacks to families who were unable to come out today and get theirs. The City of Billings wants to better your downtown parking experience, but it won't come without a price. We're talking smart meters. The change would help generate further funding for maintenance on aging parking garages in Billings, as well as striping throughout downtown. With 3 city-owned parking garages now, parking planners have proposed a shift in rates, including charging or changing the first hour in the garages free of cost. Several streets could see as many as 150 new meters focused along North Broadway, which would allow you to pay with a card. Rates would jump to $1 per hour on those meters, while the old meters would jump to 75 cents per hour. These smart meters would cost the city about $665 per unit, $465 for the unit itself, plus another couple hundred for installation. The Billings City Council will make a decision on the proposal coming up next month on September 12th. A glance at news around Billings and our region here, livinlargelarry.com. To broadcast from the Redline Computer Studios in West Billings across from Goodwill, live on YouTube and the smartphone app is Tune In, your iPhones and Droids. Third-year anniversary celebration for Carrie's Massage Business. 2-part body wraps at $70 the month of August, normally $95. That'd be good for any 2 body parts that you choose. So you could choose your hips and legs or arms and belly. You can even get your face massage. Yep, it'll help tighten your chin muscles so that little flap of skin that you tend to get will shrink up just a little bit. Carrie's Massage, 928 Broadwater, suite number 204. And how about half-price reflexology massages for $15? Normally cost you $30. The reflexology is just hands and feet. Takes about 30 minutes. Includes a relaxing foot soak as well. Carrie's Massage, 3 years and going strong. 928 Broadwater, suite number 204. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Heights. If you want truly trained, I mean, these guys are trained barbers for straight razor shaves, or if you just want just a haircut, $10 for a basic haircut. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Heights. The best $10 haircut ever, and they don't take up a lot of time either. 10 minutes. 10 minutes, $10. Great haircut. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, 2225 Main in Billings Heights. It's Jim and Austin's Barbershop. Another great experience, my wife and I, at N2 Cryotherapy, 805 24th Street West, suite number 4, over the weekend. We go probably twice a month on average, and you can actually enjoy and take advantage of what N2 Cryotherapy is all about twice a day, actually. N2cryo.com. If you've heard us talking about cryotherapy and what it's all about, log on to N2cryo.com for a brief history as to what cryotherapy is all about, and more importantly, what N2 Cryotherapy here in Billings is all about. And Cindy Graff and her crew are very good at servicing athletes in forms of N2 Cryotherapy. Again, 805 24th Street West, suite number 4, N2cryo.com. If you are interested in real estate, learning the current value of your home or property, then call Amber Gustanis with Century 21 Hometown Brokers for a free market analysis. Amber Gustanis, Century 21 Hometown Brokers, 406-690-5902.
Livin' Large Larry live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin' Large Larry live.
Keystone Mortgage is a sponsor of our replays on the show. Keystone Mortgage, downtown Billings, at the new location right across the street from the pub station. Ask about their new loan tracker. You can see everything, including rates, lock dates, personal notes, and documentation. It's private to you. The loan tracker through Keystone Mortgage Company in Billings, downtown. Brittany Higgs with us, founder and CEO of Run for Her campaign. And a little bit of background from you, Brittany. What are you all about?
Okay, so the Her campaign is an organization, and our desire has been to propel an uprising against human trafficking in our community through awareness, community, and restoration. And so that's kind of what we're up to.
And how did you get into this line of work, Brittany?
Well, a few years ago, I met a girl by the name of Kristen Steingraber, and she's the co-founder of the Her campaign. And she had just gone on a missions trip overseas in Nepal to do some work with human trafficking victims. They actually went and visited brothels in the red light district. And when she came back, she told me the story of what she saw over there and a little bit about human trafficking, and it completely broke my heart. And together we decided to make a difference in our community, because come to find out, this is actually a huge problem right here at home as well.
Yeah, and I mean, human trafficking has kind of like revitalized itself in the news. We hate to say that, but it has over the last, I'd say, 3 to 5 years worldwide, and even here in around Billings, Montana.
Exactly, that's so true. There are an overwhelming amount of homeless kids and teens here in Billings, an estimated 600 kids, and those are prime targets for sex traffickers. And so it's a huge issue in our community for sure.
Have you ever heard of the Tumbleweed organization here in Billings?
Yep.
And how's that relationship been going with Tumbleweed?
Oh, good. And I think what they're doing is absolutely wonderful, and they are making huge waves against trafficking here in Billings. So awesome organization.
So the HER campaign, how can people get involved and help grow this organization?
Sure. Well, right now, we have some pretty exciting things happening. We are working on the restoration side of the HER campaign, and we have a run coming up on August 28th. It's going to be at Josephine Crossing, and the run itself starts at 5 o'clock, and the event goes until 8. We are going to have a concert and food trucks, and it's just going to be a great time for runners that are serious about competition, but also just families. Bring your strollers, bring your kids out, and have a good time. And this event is to raise money to fight human trafficking here in our community. And at the run, we are going to make a huge announcement. There's some really exciting things that we're doing right here in Montana, and so we're going to announce that at the run. So come and support and help the cause by coming to the run at the end of the month.
Where have you seen and learned more about human trafficking, including Billings and your travels so far?
I actually took a trip this last year to Iraq to also do human trafficking stories. We went with an organization that goes over there frequently to help women that have been sex trafficked through ISIS and through the refugees camps over there. On that trip, there was a lot of people that have an organization that works here in the U.S. as well. And that's really where I started to understand the gravity of trafficking in the U.S. and specifically Montana. We've learned that because of our interstates, we have a ton of traffic going through, and it's kind of a sweet spot for traffickers because of the interstates that run through Montana. So we're kind of a hub. And like I said, the homeless population here in Billings is a huge issue.
I see that from my notes here, Run for Her, the HER campaign, you're looking for sponsors in different levels. How can we help out that way?
We still are looking for a few business sponsors that would like to partner with us for the run. And so if you're interested in that, definitely get a hold of us. You can contact us via email or visit our Facebook page. It's just under the HER campaign.
All right, Brittany Higgs, give us your phone number, and you're at 1411 Wicks Lane, 59105.
Yes, that's correct. And my phone number is 970-580-5477.
All right, before we let you go, give us the bullet points again of the Run for Her coming up in August.
Okay, sounds good. Our Run for Her 5K is going to be August 28th, and it starts at 5, goes till 8, and we're going to have a concert and food trucks after the run. So come out. It's going to be a great time.
Josephine Crossing, and will there be some speakers as well to maybe answer some questions about human trafficking?
Yep, there is going to be a presentation to kind of bring awareness to the community about human trafficking, and then we have some awesome events and news coming up. So that's all going to be shared at the run. All
right, very good. Brittany Higgs, Run for Her, the HER campaign. We appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Third-year anniversary celebration for Carrie's Massage Business. 2-part body wraps at $70 the month of August, normally $95. That'd be good for any 2 body parts that you choose. So you could choose your hips and legs or arms and belly. You can even get your face massage. Yep. It'll help tighten your chin muscles so that little flap of skin that you tend to get will shrink up just a little bit. Carrie's Massage, 928 Broadwater, suite number 204. And how about half-price reflexology massages for $15? Normally cost you $30. The reflexology is just hands and feet. Takes about 30 minutes. Includes a relaxing foot soak as well. Carrie's Massage, 3 years and going strong. 928 Broadwater, suite number 204. A true coupon book, a coupon magazine, and it's actually the size that you can actually read through and see what's offered and see the prices. Practical couponing with Hometown Values Savings Magazine. And maybe you've seen it. It comes through the mail to your house. Don't toss it. There's the Hometown Values Magazine for each section of Billings and Laurel. Look for it. Hometown Values Savings Magazine. And the most recent issues have been mailed to you. Check them out. Give them a try. Hometown Values. Trained Barber Haircuts, Jim and Austin's Barbershop, 2225 Main in the Heights, the best $10 haircut ever. Jim and Austin's Barbershop, the official barber for the Livin Large Larry live show. Like him on Facebook, Jim and Austin's Barbershop up in Billings Heights. 2225 Main in the Heights, Jim and Austin's Barbershop. Proud supporters of the JCs.
Livin Large Larry live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin Large Larry live.
Wildfire updates. I'm Livin Large Larry. The wildfires in Yellowstone National Park are still smoldering. The maple fire is now about 1,100 acres in the northwestern portion of the park, along with the fawn fire, which was held steady at about 936 acres. The buffalo fire, discovered over the weekend, has burned about 97 acres near Tower Junction. 2 grizzly bears were captured in northwest Montana and have been released in Canada. A young grizzly showed up in Whitefish August 9th, another one August 10th. Some grizzly bears are staying in the valley bottom to feed on serviceberry and hawthorn berries. A proposal to transfer wild bison from Yellowstone National Park to Montana American Indian reservations is meeting resistance from state livestock officials. Leaders of the Fort Peck, Assiniboine, and Sioux tribes on Monday asked the State Board of Livestock to support moving the 49 bison, but state veterinarian Marty Zalewski told board members that state law prohibits moving the bison until they are certified as disease-free. Billings officials are set to consider a $120 million development proposal that would add what would be the state's tallest building to Billings. Developers revealed plans for the multi-use project on Monday, which include a hotel, housing, and retail and office space. $120 million development in Billings downtown. With less than 3 weeks to go before the end of summer vacation, parents across Montana are scrambling to pick out new school clothes and fill backpacks with notepads and pencils, erasers, and added items. School officials are asking parents not to forget is to make sure their children are fully immunized before classes resume. Montana state law requires students complete a series of vaccinations to prevent the contraction and spread of a wide range of communicable diseases. Fish, Wildlife, and Parks crews are still searching for answers to what killed more than 700 mountain whitefish in the Yellowstone River, south of Livingston. A handful of suckers were also killed, but so far no dead trout have been found. Sports, Simone Biles bid to become the first female gymnast to win 5 gold medals at a single Olympics ended yesterday in Rio. Simone Biles had to settle for bronze in the balance beam following a flawed performance, wobbling during the middle of a routine and landing awkwardly while completing a front somersault. U.S. teammate Laurie Hernandez claimed the silver medal in the event, won by Shane Weavers of Netherlands. Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, has announced through a spokesman he will not play again this year, dispelling rumors that he might join the Miami Marlins. The 41-year-old Rodriguez released by the New York Yankees on Saturday after hitting just 200 with 9 home runs and 31 RBIs this season. Look at state and regional news and sports. I'm Livin Large Larry.
Fitness is found in many things. Working out, also through cryotherapy. N2 Cryotherapy in Billings since last July, and the business has really expanded. Talked to Cindy Graff and her crew at N2 Cryotherapy, 805 24th Street West, Suite number 4, and n2cryo.com for details. A little history about what cryotherapy is, how it'll help you, and right now she's got a great contingent of athletes, and we're talking from middle school to high school to the professional ranks as well. Ask her about it. N2 Cryotherapy, and ask for the introductory offer as well. n2cryo.com. You can set up an appointment online as well.
Livin Large Larry live from the Redline Computer Studios next to the Dollar Tree off of King Avenue West in Billings, Montana. This is Livin Large Larry live.
Our replay of segments on livinlargelarry.com on the show from Keystone Mortgage Company here in Billings, and purchase, refinance, investment properties, and a brand new place to call home for work. Keystone Mortgage downtown now, across from the pub station, 2442 First Avenue North. You can find them on Facebook. Type in the keyword Keystone, Keystone Mortgage Company. You aren't just a number, you're our number one priority. I think you'll love the changes at Keystone Mortgage.
You were one of the first people to take a ride with Uber, which has been in the news quite a bit, not just in Billings, but in Montana as it's launching. Just was wondering how the Uber process went and how it went as a passenger.
You know, this has been working towards Billings for some time. I've heard a lot of discussion, and of course, after jumping through the hoops with the state legislature, something that's very popular in other states where there's more, populated areas. But Billings being the largest city in Montana, basically the largest city within a 500-mile radius.
Sure. Obviously,
it was just a matter of time, and their introduction here in Billings was very well attended, very professional, and it's something that just the same, I have high predictions that they'll do just fine. Like anything else, changes will take a little time to adjust. People have to become accustomed to a little bit different method of calling for your ride, but at the same time, competition's good, and we do have other companies available, but this will certainly bring everybody up to snuff as far as taking care of their clients.
Well, it sounds good. We'll go from riding to a walking, and that might be with the dog or cats on a leash in developed parks here in the Billings area. There's already some parks that allow it. There's kind of some different rules for some different parks, but a pretty interesting, I thought, conclusion for you and the council with the ordinance being approved, but kind of with some rules and restrictions to that, and we've got phone calls coming in. If you want to talk about what that was, how that came about, Tom.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick. Well, basically when it was introduced by one of our council, how it was introduced was, the public needs to have some skin in the game. If they want to be able to take their dogs into the parks, which I know is very common in other communities, and certainly something that's been discussed here for some time, they need to participate also. By recent surveys, very accurate numbers, there's an estimated number of 30,000 pets in the city of Billings. But interesting enough, only about 5,000 are licensed. So, if they want to use the parks, if they think that the dogs should be able to roam in the parks, be it on a leash, why not participate? Why not show their support and be more attentive by licensing their pets? The theory behind this, Nick, of course, is it's going to cost money to allow this ordinance to move forward.
Yes.
There's a need for new signs. The ones that are there are outdated. They need to be replaced. That's well known. But then there's enforcement, stepped-up enforcement. There's the waste containers that need to be established, and all of this costs the taxpayers money. So the revenue that could be generated if persons were to license their pet and be it another 5,000 would be more than adequate to help cover those costs. And so, in the end, I think it's probably not a bad idea. A lot of grumbling, but we'll see how they come forward and see if they want to support it.
Mayor, what happens when, like you said, about 1 in 6 pets, it sounds like, are licensed and the rest aren't, which is a pretty amazing number. But what happens if I don't know if you're caught, I don't own a dog right now, but if you're caught without a pet that's licensed, why are they licensed? Just to kind of keep track of it, make sure, the shots are up and things like that?
Yes, Nick, that's the main thing. It isn't intended to be a revenue-making program. That never has been the case, but it's more for tracking to be sure that pets are properly vaccinated.
Okay.
You get them vaccinated, you need to have a license, vice versa, but at the same time, I would think that people that have pets care about their pets, and should their pet stray away, get lost, or someone takes their pet, hopefully there'd be an easier, better method to track their pet down, or track the owner down, I should say, and get the pet back to where they belong. So it's a win-win for everyone. Yes, the revenue is certainly a major factor of it. I don't want to deny that, but it's just called being a good citizen, being a responsible, accountable citizen. I mean, it's no different. You license your vehicle if you drive on the city streets. Why not license your pet if you're going to walk them into the city parks?
Billings Mayor Tom Handel, my guest. A couple minutes left. I understand that city staff will be meeting tomorrow to talk about this. Is it possible there could be a park ranger through the police department that would help with enforcement?
Well, Nick, there's some discussion there. I'm going to say that's a long ways out.
Okay.
That would be an expensive venture. There's going to be a need for equipment to include a vehicle. You have salary, you have benefits, and all this. Quite expensive. I'm not saying that it won't happen. It probably will at some point in time. Nothing I expect in the near future. I think if we can just encourage people to get their pets vaccinated, buy their license, be responsible, clean up after your pet, a lot of the need for a park ranger could be subsided with just citizen participation.
Sounds good. One more question, Mayor. We'll let you get on with your morning. I just was interested, could there be an alternate route as we talk about kind of going up to the Heights area, up on the rims for the inner belt loop? Is there possible there could be some changing to what could be constructed, Tom?
Very possible. That has been, we've had several discussions on this now for a few years. Of course, the big hiccup there, and that there's just no way around it, is financing. The available funds to complete that inner belt loop. It's going to be a major undertaking, a tremendous expense, but I will say it'll be well worth it. It's something that's definitely needed, and I am confident that is going to happen. It's just a matter of time, but the thought of an alternate route coming in closer, just to the west of the airport property on to Highway 3 would save a tremendous amount of money. It would be less impact to the land up behind the airport, behind Highway 3, whereas the initial plan was to come out right there at Zimmerman and Highway 3. Sure, a great idea, and that might still happen, but at the same time, this alternate route, I think, is a savings to the taxpayer.